This is Red Dog Terrain. Welcome back to the shed. Today I try and learn how to use a static grass applicator. My good buddy Matt bought me a static grass applicator for my birthday. I've seen so many other YouTubers using them. They look easy to use and really add a wonderful effect. However, I've never used one before. I searched out tutorials and found, as often the case, Luke at Geek Gaming Scenics had one of the best. 2 links in the description. I started by making a batch of plaster. However, it was too thick. I used a ratio of 2 parts plaster to 1 part water, plus a little extra. When it's this thick, it tends to leave bubbles and not get on all the cracks and details. Maybe I'll play around with different consistencies at another time. I added a touch of gray and poured the mixture into the molds. I let the mixture dry for 24 hours and then cracked it out of its mold. I traced the rock on a piece of XPS foam and cut out a surrounding square. I forgot to film the next part, but I used my handheld foam cutter to cut the foam at an angle, making sure to not cut over the line. Not happy with the height, I repeated the step again. I put the whole thing on a rectangle of dollar store foam board. I made a batch of sculptor mold with brown paint. I slathered it on the piece, covering up the foam, but left the top exposed. When it was partially dry, with a wet finger, I smoothed out the extra pokey bits. A dry brush of light buttermilk really brought the stone to life. When I put the wash on, though, my brush must have been dirty, or maybe I didn't wait long enough for it to dry, but it turned all the brown gray. I wasn't too worried because most of this would be covered up in hopefully professionally placed grass. Hopefully. Jackson's floppy ears perked up. He heard the boots of a marching troop in the distance. He wriggled out of his burrow. His head swiveled around, but he could not locate the source. He hopped around, but still could see nothing. Jackson knew of one place he could see the whole world. He made his way to High Point Hill. 12 feet up a grass and flower-covered rocks, he could see the heavily armed troops marching by. In the distance, he could see the city they were sieging. What he didn't see was the archer taking deadly aim as Jackson stood out in the open. I covered the brown muddy parts in tacky glue and spread it around with about a 90% coverage. I then sprinkled on a variety of flockings, dark green, light green, green with a little bit of yellow. I soaked the whole thing in watered down PVA glue to lock it in. Then came the part I was nervously looking forward to, and the whole reason for this video. Following Luke's video as best as I could, I patchily dabbed on glue, loaded up my applicator with the grass it came with, touched the leads to the piece, and like Outcast said, shook it like a Polaroid. Using the scale of 1 inch is 5 feet, this rock stands at about 12 feet high. This makes for a great line of sight piece, or for somewhere sneaky bandits can hide behind. I dusted it off and started the other side. I wasn't super impressed at this point, and I thought maybe having a metal tray might be affecting it. But it wasn't. Results didn't change. It isn't bad, and I guess I wasn't sure what I was expecting, but I feel something is missing or can be improved. Tips in the comments are always welcome. I put on a few tufts and flowers to finish it off.